And now I go back to the planning, which I wanted to talk about. So I get lots of questions about planning, and I talked about this, can't remember, was it last week? Was it the week before? It all blurs. But somebody sent a question about planning and saying that other students write it and plan backwards. And this is from Luyanda Maphanga. When writing an obituary, do you have to draw a mind map? Not a mind map, but you need to plan. Now, I happen to like a mind map. It works for me. I've used it for so many years. So why do you need to plan? You're writing your obituary. You need to look if you are foul or home language, because foul has longer transactional writing and shorter transactional writing, and you need to see which one you're doing. Home language, you just have the longer. So you need to look at the word limit. Don't count the number of words, plan the number of words. So if you've got, let's say, 150 words or 180 words, your plan is going to look slightly different. So let us say that we're going to have one paragraph in an obituary. This would be X person died yesterday at his home in Johannesburg after a lengthy illness. Very short. So let's say 10 words. All right, let's give it 15. Then you need to plan your background paragraph. So that is the life. So this is born, where, went to school, where, married or not married, what have you. I'm not going to put a word count on it yet. And then you've got your most important paragraph. Oh, I want a different color. Hang on. That's better. Your most important paragraph, which is the reasons for the person getting an obituary, their success, their achievements. Now, this paragraph really shouldn't be less than 80 words to 100. But look at it. If you've only got 150 words, whoa! All right, so let's work on 150. If we work on 80, then this one is going to go to something like, let's say, 30. So we're already at 110, 120, approximately 130. I've only got, I need another color, I've only got a very short conclusion. Now, what do you put at the end? You put the tribute to the person, and you say that the person is the members of the family that are left behind. So you're going to put that in, and a brief tribute. And you've only got about 20 words. But what if you've got 180 to 200 home language students? So you say to yourself, okay, I can expand here to 100. My tribute can go to 40 maybe. That would still say at about 15. I don't think it's going to change. So let's say 15 to 20. So I've got 160 and I've got another 40 words. So this is why I want you to plan, is because you've got to look at the word count. And you say, all right, what is the bare minimum that I have to have, let's say in an obituary? I have to have this thing about so-and-so died, when, where, and why. I have to have something about the background, something about the achievements, and something about he's survived by, and what have you. But I've only got number, so you divide the number of words. And this is steady, but these things can change. And you play with the number of words, and you say, all right, I'm going to have to cut this down. I'm going to add up there. Right. Now you know an approximation of how long this thing is going to be when you start writing it. So we have time to practice before the end of the year. So practice planning an obituary, and what you should get is about 10% on the mind map of what comes out at the end. Practice it. See how it works for you. And look at why I like it. Because the paragraphs are here. I can see them. This should be fatter coming out of the beginning. These tells me this is my paragraph. This is my paragraph. This is my paragraph. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. That's my introduction. This is my conclusion. Please don't write the words intro and conclusion. Please plan them. And I have 2 body paragraphs. Can you do this in 1? Yes, you can, but I think it works nicely if you make it 4 paragraphs, no matter how short it's going to be, even if it were 100 words. So if it's 100 words, you say, ugh. All right, so let's get a completely different color. 100 words, that stays the same. So now I've got 80 words. Okay, I'm going to have to say, born and educated in Johannesburg, he became an engineer. Good, that's sorted. He is survived by his wife and 2 children and is the most wonderful engineer the world has ever known. All right, ugh. Can I get that to 15 words? So let's say 15. That's 30, 40. That gives me only 60 words here. It's still my longest paragraph because that's what's important. But it's now 60 words. So do you see? It's like, have you been making masks? I've been making masks, looking for pieces of material. And I put it down and I put my pattern on it and I think, oh, this is not going to quite fit. So you cut your pattern out of material that's the right size. And the first mask I made was too small for my son and especially my husband. So I had to make a bigger one. So what am I doing? I'm cutting it out according to the amount of material I've got. So this piece of material, that'll make a small mask. This piece of material, okay, I can make a bigger mask. Do you understand? That's what you're doing. You don't start cutting and then have half the mask. So I've only got half a mask. It's sort of tied up over here. And this part, you don't do that. You don't do that with your planning either. So plan it. And it's worth it. Who am I talking to? It was Luyanda. Yes, it's Luyanda. It's worth it. Because guess what? The mask that you make, the essay that you write, the obituary that you write comes out so much better when you actually have done the planning. And you can see where it's going. And you can put the ideas down. And you can say, like if you're writing an essay, I don't have enough ideas for this essay. I can't write this topic. I chose a topic on teddy bears. I can't write on teddy bears. I don't know anything about a teddy bear. I'd better choose another topic. And you've got the time in the exam. You've got the time to throw out that plan and start something else. Okay, now Mbali said she had another question. Mbali, do you have another question for me? Super dupes. Yeah. That can be quite tricky. All right, Tato, I presume you are foul because what they do question 5, whether you're home language or foul. This is on paper 1. Question 5 is your editing and language question. So if you're home language, it's 10 marks. If you are foul, it's 20 marks. Okay, now question 5.1 for foul is they say, correct the single error in each of the following sentences. So they tell you there's only one mistake, but they don't tell you what you're looking for. So I'm just trying to think, having just said to Ellen, I've seen them before. I was looking at Concord Errors this morning. Can't remember an example of a past paper, but let me show you. If I say, oh, I do remember. Hang on, got it. The cost of computers is going up or are going up. All right, so what they'll do to you, Tato, is they'll actually write R. So they'll write this. The cost of computers are going up. So this will be 5.1.1. And they don't tell you what you're looking for. So you've got to look, you've got to check, is this a spelling error? Have they put an apostrophe or not an apostrophe? but actually this is a Concord error. All right, so what happens here is you go computers, plural, and so your brain goes are. And Tato will make that mistake in speech, will actually say the cost of computers, oh, they're going through the roof. Because the last thing we heard was computers, and so we make the verb plural. But in fact, the subject of are is cost, and cost is singular. So it's, you've got to write 5.1.1 is. Now, Tato, how do you recognize that? I've just put together a whole lot of foul errors. Because sometimes, I mean, so they do say to you, correct the spelling. They can say that. But in this question, they tend not to. So 5.1.2 could have the word, oh, I saw the word across. All right? So it's just one word in the sentence. So you go through it and you say, oh, okay, it's a spelling error. But they don't tell you what the error is that you're looking at in that first question. Home language, they can do this too as well. They can just say, find the error in this sentence and correct it. They can sometimes use the word Concord. They don't usually use the word Concord in foul papers. But home language, they can use the word. So how do you identify it? You know, Tato, is exactly what I've just said I do. I look at every single word and try to see what's going on. And you know, Tato, sometimes I get to the end of the sentence and realize, I can't find the mistake. Because you know what your brain does? It fixes the mistakes, especially spelling errors. So you will see RECIEVE. And you'll look at it and say, I don't know if that's spelled correctly or not. Your brain, and very often you don't even see it. Okay, I think I've got to stop. So it's been fabulous. Thank you for all the questions. I really enjoyed it. Again, try to be specific. So if it's tone of a character, just give me the line. Maybe I'll recognize the line and I can say, okay, this is Macbeth, this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or whatever, and I can put it into a context for you. And just keep at it. Don't panic. Just a little bit every day, a little bit of meaningful study. Keep in touch. Thank you to Liberty for the opportunity of being able to speak to you all. It really is such a privilege, and I do enjoy it enormously.